And welcome. This is Mary Ellen McGonigal, Senior Managing Director of Stocks here at Simpler Trading with your Weekly Edge show. Let's take a look at what we are going to be covering today. I am going to get into the broader markets, take a look and see where we're standing currently, and then beyond that, uncover and share with you the underlying strength, which areas of the markets are poised to trade higher with an eye toward helping you participate in that strength. From there, also, I am going to share with you some of the more impactful news that drove the markets this week, and also viewer question of the week. And this is a great question. It's all about how you can uncover sector rotation, a very quick exercise. So to begin, I did want to share with you some of that news that helped move the markets this week. And certainly on Friday, we did hear word from Fed Chair Powell that he is thinking inflation may last longer than anticipated. And this was a bit of a damper, certainly to select areas of technology, as growth does not do well in high periods of inflation. And then also on Thursday, we did receive news that weekly unemployment claims hit pre-pandemic levels, which is great news. However, the unemployment rate remains high, and this labor shortage is another pain point, if you will, as it will impact inflation because of wage price increases. Also this week, we did see a lot in the way of earnings. Earnings season is really ramping up. We're taking a look here at the top performers in the S&P 500 index for the week, and each of these companies came out with earnings. So you can see what a real driver that has been. Among them, Pool Corp, Tesla, Abbott Labs, SVB Financial, and HP, formerly Hewlett Packard. And of these five, two of these stocks are on my MEM Edge report, and they have been top performers not only this past week, but recently as well. So from here, I did want to share with you those companies that are due to report next week. We can see it's been a clear driver. So some of the bigger names, of course, Facebook, Amazon, and Google will be reporting. Caterpillar also in that cyclical area, and then Lockheed Martin, as well as a number of other defense-related companies. So lots going on. It's going to be one of the biggest weeks as it relates to Q3 earnings next week. So from here, we do want to take a look at what position are the markets in? Where do we stand after last week's action? And I'm sharing with you now a daily price chart of the S&P 500 index. And the S&P was up 1.5% for the week, and we can see it just barely eked out, did not quite make it to a new high in price, but certainly in a confirmed uptrend. We can see the RSI momentum indicator trending upward, likewise with those stochastics up above 50 and in positive territory. So the S&P 500 in a confirmed uptrend. From here, let's drill down a bit further. I'm going to share with you a view of a 2-month daily price chart of the underlying sectors within the S&P 500. I've gone ahead and added this relative strength indicator and sorted the list descending. So up here are your relatively stronger areas, and then down here your weaker areas. So we do, of course, want to focus in on these stronger areas. For those of you that have been watching this weekly show, you'll know that it has been energy for some time, and it does continue to be up here at the forefront. It was not a top performer as it relates to pure price performance last week. However, it does remain quite strong. We can see financials also up here in the forefront, as they have been for some time. Newer, certainly as far as hitting a new high, are consumer discretionary, and a lot of that is Tesla, as well as a couple of underlying other names. From here, we can see, as it relates to those weaker areas, we are beginning to get potential vibrancy as these particular industry groups are turning. Healthcare, of course, reversing potentially its downtrend, so very interesting. That's a big part of the broader markets, but technology languishing a bit, and I did talk about that high inflation. We're also seeing interest rates rise, not particularly great for technology overall. However, definite bright spots that we'll talk about in this next slide within technology that are poised to trade higher. So from here, we're going to take a look at some other indexes as well as ETFs that I like to follow. My focus is more on growth related stocks. So I have semiconductors here, software, I have the healthcare instruments, and then also small cap, crude oil, and so on. So from here, that RSI is listed and then in descending order. No big surprise, KRE is up here at the forefront. This is the regional banking ETF and a really very fertile area to pull from as far as stocks. A lot of them are coming in ahead of estimates. I showed you the top 5 in the S&P this week, and SVB Financial is up there at the forefront, as well as a number of other high-performing stocks that are poised to trade higher. Brent crude oil up here at that 85 level, driving those energy stocks higher. Another item that is worth noting is the yield on the 10-year Treasury, because higher interest rates, not only are they positive for bank stocks, but they can be negative for growth stocks. We can see this is the peak, near-term peak back here in the beginning of April, got up to about 1.75. The 10-year yield is currently at 1.65, but we do want to pay attention because during this April into August, September was a very tough period for technology. So also wanting to share with you some of the other areas that are newer to reversing their downtrends. This is that IHI US medical devices, and this ETF has been very vibrant in the past. A number of winning stocks from my MEM Edge report came from this group after they reported strong earnings. So there are growth areas within this ETF just turning positive ahead of the release of their earnings. So from here, I did want to go ahead and share with you 2 distinct ways that you can get in front of sector rotation. I'm using a service called stockcharts.com, but what I'm sharing with you, you can get in any number of different places, and that is looking at the performance of the underlying S&P 500 sectors. So first up here, we are looking at a 1-month view. So over the last 4 weeks, where has that relative outperformance been? And we can see it's all about energy and financials. And those of you that are subscribers to my MEM Edge report or who have been following this show will know we've been all over this outperformance, and we've highlighted some superior stocks. And then we can also see basic materials and industrials. So basically your cyclical areas have been generally outperforming over the last 4 weeks. But where it gets interesting is if we go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500 sector performance over this past week. And what we're looking for are areas that are newer beyond those financial and energy. And take a look. Here, healthcare is up at the forefront. I'm going to share with you that chart as far as this downtrend reversal that is taking place. And then from here, we want to see where is that relative outperformance so that you can, of course, participate. So taking a look at healthcare, we can see healthcare providers up here at the forefront. This is all about earnings. Anthem came out with numbers this week. ATHM, UNH came out with numbers the prior week, both in very confirmed uptrends. But this is an area that is more important to my work, and that is medical equipment. It ties in with that IHI ETF that I mentioned, and here we can see that downtrend reversal taking shape. And this again is an area with a number of high growth stocks. The RSI is now positive. We had that nice black line up through the red with this MACD bullish crossover. So This is an area as it relates to sector rotation that I am going to be focusing on this weekend. I have a number of stocks on my watch list with an eye toward adding them to the suggested holdings list for my MEM Edge report. That's it for this week. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you next Saturday. Hey, Mary Ellen here with Simpler Trading. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button and leave comments below. And if you'd like to be notified to future videos, you can hit that bell icon and subscribe. Don't leave without subscribing to my MEM Edge bi-weekly report. I do have a special trial offer. And for those who'd like to learn about trading live with us, you can go ahead to simplertrading.com to learn more.